everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today I want to talk a little bit about basil and tomatoes. I have a little gift here that I have been raising for my mom. She doesn't know about it yet, but it is, my mom lives in an apartment for seniors, and she has this little tiny patio and this little tiny place where she could maybe grow some things. But she definitely doesn't have the room to like out and out grow tomatoes. So because she doesn't have the room to out and out grow tomatoes, I came up with a plan. Let me show you the plan. So here we have a planter that I planted, and it looks like it's full of basil. But if you look in the center, there's actually a tomato in the center of this. And so for the past week or so, I have neglected this, not week, it's probably been 2 weeks. I neglected this and it rained. And so we just had tremendous growth in that basil, but it's too big and it's gonna try to push flowers. So I wanted to come in here and show you what I'm going to do. And like, this is also maybe a gift idea for you if you want to give somebody the gift of tomatoes. So first things first, I am going to come in and show you that. So as long as you have 3 leaf sets, there's 1, 2, and 3, you can come in and you can clip the rest off. So I'm going to clip that, and then I'm going to do that to all of them. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to put some garden tone on this. I had already put, I believe, biotone in here when I first planted all this. And I'm just going to feed this really well. This is more than enough basil than my mom would use. And then this is some tomato tone. I get it on the leaves because it is a liquid. I just want it to have something where it's going to boost right away. The garden tone is good, but it is something that will take a little bit to get to the actual plant, whereas the liquid fertilizers are pretty instantaneous. So with basil, you always want to make sure that it starts creating, and I'll show you because I had clipped one of these. I think it's here. So this is one plant, and typically what happens is where you cut it, and so it was very small when I cut it. So when you cut it, it will start to now branch out. Now these will become new branches. And so just like down here when it had been cut, it branched out, and it's going to branch out again. And every time you cut them back, that's what's going to happen. You're going to cause the plant to become a bushier, bigger, fatter plant. And so my mom, once I give this to her, she can just keep doing that. But you can see that I neglected this a bit because some of the leaves are just not looking great. But it'll perk up just fine now that I have fed it and all of that. So I'm going to go ahead, and I will be, you can see it's a nice size pot, but I actually want to give her a much bigger pot to grow this in, and maybe a more decorative trellis for this to trellis on. Again, she does live in an apartment. Other people see this, so I want it to be kind of cute before I give it to her. So I will be potting this up. So there you have it. I just wanted you to know that it is best. Some people think that it's best to like leave their herbs alone. And we have noticed that that certainly is not the case here for us. The more you harvest from your herbs, I mean, you want to leave some because photosynthesis has to happen with those leaves. But when you just leave yours alone, I had a small herb garden over here, and for years it just kind of stayed small. I mean, I would harvest some, but not enough, and it would it's like I couldn't get anything to grow. And most of these things are perennials. Basil isn't, but most of these things are perennials. And so perennials like to be cut back. So you definitely want to cut back your basil. It's going to make it way bushier. It's going to be a prettier plant, and it's going to give you more leaves to harvest. With all that I just cut off of my mom's plant, I'm going to go ahead and do probably a pesto dish tonight. Ooh, or maybe I might do my garlic bread with basil on it. But you can save all of these leaves. You can dry them and crumble them and put them in a canning jar. So just remember to cut your basil leaves. I like to try to keep 3 nodes on them, you know, and so that's where the leaves go this way, and then they usually have like 2 on the opposite sides. They have 2 little leaflets starting, and so you want to cut right above those, and you want to make sure there's 3 of those before you cut. It just gives the plant enough leaves to still be creating photosynthesis and feeding the plants. And if yours are kind of droopy like mine are right now, go ahead and give them a nice feeding of fertilizer. Liquid fertilizer is quicker acting, and so you can do both if they're organic. You don't have to worry about frying your plants. And I like to also do these with tomatoes. I love to put basil and tomatoes together. They kind of require the same things. You can use the same fertilizers on them. They usually want the same amount of water, and they kind of look good together. And basil and tomatoes are out of this world. So it also causes you not to forget about one or the other. So when my mom is harvesting her tomatoes, she can just, you know, either break off some leaves or cut. You should cut them. You shouldn't break off leaves, but cut them and go in and have a basil tomato salad. Yum. Oh, can't wait for tomato season. So remember, if we can gift tomatoes and cut our basil properly, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.